Welcome to the creepy parlor, where we delve into the dark side with an undercurrent of light-hearted fun. Our discussions will explore gothic, macabre, or creepy topics. The first Tuesday of every month, we will host a haunted happy hour where you can join us for a group conversation that focuses on ghosts, weird events, urban legends, and more. Here at the Creepy Parlor, our subject matter may be spooky, but our spirits are high. You can catch the Creepy Parlor every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on WLFE DB Radio.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Genevieve, and we are here at the Creepy Parlor for yet another fun, creepy evening. I'm so excited about our guest tonight. I'm bringing on Diann. She's going to show you some of her Waking Dead dolls. I've known Diann for quite some time. She's a brilliant artist. So without further ado, let me bring her right up here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Jen.
I'm so excited that you're here, and I can't wait to see what you have to show us.
Thank you for having me. I'm here with my Lily, my latest style that I made for myself. She is, I don't know if you can see her cute little face.
Oh, look at her little face.
The kid is called Alaric, and it's a baby and werewolf hybrid, like an infant and werewolf hybrid, where there's a lot of werewolf dolls that are actually a baby werewolf, the actual wolf itself. Mm-hmm. But she made a combination baby and werewolf. And I had unfortunately had to put down my Yorkie a couple weeks ago. She was up there, but I cut off her hair. So that was probably like, what the hell does this woman do to her dog?
A lot of people do that. A lot of people
I cut off her hair so that I could root it into the doll. So this is Lily's hair, and I will be keeping her. She's my memorial to my puppy dog. And my niece gave me a little like keychain. I'm gonna put a necklace. It has like a memorial thing for Lily, so she's gonna wear it.
You're gonna make me cry already. You've only been talking for 2 minutes.
That's the cry. Lily creeped out.
She's beautiful. So let's get some of your.
She's got little werewolf feet.
Oh, how cute!
I know. I love this kid. I can't wait because I have another one started that I'm going to be doing.
Before we get that far, let's talk a little bit about what you do. How did you get started making these dolls?
Well, I don't know. A couple of years ago, I was making like repurposing dolls, like old baby dolls, mm-hmm. and using like acrylic paint, making them gray and like burning the crap out of them, making wounds and putting teeth into them and, blood and gore, and making these little zombie dolls. And it probably started with my sister, who calls herself the zombie queen. They would do a huge zombie apocalypse party every year. And one year I went over there and she had this doll that she made, and her friend had one. I don't know if Dawn made it or not, but I was like, I can make them. And I kept seeing them online. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a doll. And then I saw the Reborn Dolls, which are the dolls that look like a real mm-hmm. baby.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I love that. Like, it's a baby, but people get creeped out by it. So I bought a kit, and I did make a couple babies, like real looking babies. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, this is not fun. Like, I want to see if there's a market for the zombie ones to make zombies out of these Reborn dolls. Mm-hmm. And I did. So, and it's crazy because so many people like want them. I get messages all the time. Can you do a custom doll? Like, do you have any available? Like right now I'm working on dolls because I don't have anything available. It's crazy.
It's
great, but it's crazy.
I don't know if anyone had a chance to take a look at some of the links that I posted earlier, but your work is absolutely beautiful. I mean,
thank you.
The attention to detail is spectacular. You have a comment here. It's Lil's hair. I love that idea. Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you've incorporated something. It's sort of like memento mori that you've done for her, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. As soon as I got this, I had the dolls ordered, and I'm like, I got to make one for myself with her hair.
Oh, that's my sister. We know someone who has the Reborn the actual Reborn Dolls. So did you took one of the Reborn Dolls and repurposed it, or did you just go off of that idea?
What do you mean when
you first started? No, when you first started doing them.
When I first started, I had bought the kits to make the dolls. Like the kit comes in it's just basically almost white vinyl, and that's what you get, and you have to put layers of paint. And I said, you know what, I did okay selling the baby dolls.
Yeah.
But like my passion is the horror dolls. And I started looking them up, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many out there. There's somebody named Marilyn something. She makes like vampire dolls. And I'm like, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but hers look more like a real baby. Like I make mine a little bit more creepy looking, but hers are gorgeous. But I'm like, you know what, I can do those. So I got into the horror because, you know, I'm like a closet horror person.
That's why I love you. So I did. Let's see if this works. This is the first time I'm trying to do this, but I just took a picture of one of your examples of your babies. And the thing that blows my mind about these is you even have little veins in their head.
Yeah, veins, eyelashes.
How long does it take you to do something like that?
When I first started doing the veins, they scared the crap out of me because I'm like, I don't know where to put veins. So I was actually researching infants and their vein patterns, and like they'll have a vein that usually comes down on their forehead, here in your hand, on their feet, like in the ankle. Like, so and then sometimes if it's a zombie, I just go crazy on the veins because they're all like,
because it's a zombie and their veins are useless at that point.
I know. And I love The Walking Dead, and I thought, you know what, I want to name it something similar to Walking Dead. And I'm like, oh, these babies are waking up dead. They're going to sleep, okay, cool, with mom and dad, and they're waking up dead. So that's why Waking Dead dolls.
Do you watch What We Do in the Shadows?
Yes.
The episode where he was talking about turning the infant into a vampire.
I think I saw that one. That show's hilarious.
That's what I was thinking of when I saw the vampire babies, is turning a little baby into a vampire. Let me see if I can post another one, because this one's really creepy.
You know, one of the women from that show was actually on like a gardening show where they were making huge like topiary things, and it was a competition. Because I'm like, I know her from somewhere. And I watched it because, you know, I'm a florist. So I watched that show and was like, oh my God, that's her.
So here's another example of one of your beautiful babies.
I love that one.
I love this one too. I particularly love her little dress. Is it a dress or a shirt?
It was a dress. Nice velvet dress. That doll is actually, I've done a couple of her. She's a crawler. So when you sit her up, she actually sits, or you can put her on her hands and knees. Her knees bend, so she's on her hands and knees, and you can sit her that way too, and her head kind of like looks up. It's an awesome kit, but I can't find her right now. Like it's been out of stock for probably a year.
Well, I'm wondering
if
the pandemic is causing issues with your availability. You know, everyone's doing stuff, everyone's creating, everyone's busy.
Yeah, artists are just buying dolls, and the places that I get from, like I sent them a message. I'm like, why do you have no stock? And she said, they're really having a hard time getting the containers. Like early on, like we couldn't get stuff from China.
Yeah.
And I think it's still affecting because a lot of the suppliers, they can't get stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole big thing that affects everything. So if you guys take a look at the bottom, scrolling along the bottom, I have Diann's information. She has an Etsy shop, but you want to talk a little bit about your Etsy shop?
There's never anything in my Etsy shop.
But the reason why there's not anything in there is a good reason, right?
There's probably one stuffed animal. Like I started this guy, and I got to put some more things on him, like little pals for the dolls. And I just made like a zombie head planter.
Oh, I saw that.
I sold one. Mm-hmm. So I just shipped it out this morning. But like things like that, I'll put in the shop. But the dolls, I post them on my Facebook page or my Instagram. And usually within a day, I get a message and it's sold and it's shipping out. So I haven't been able to get anything into my Etsy shop. So thank God I don't pay like this ridiculous fee every month. Oh, and I have, is this my version of Father Evil?
I saw that the other day. I know you mentioned it when we talked earlier. He's adorable. He's
the story behind this?
Adorable.
My uncle was a priest and he passed in, I think, July. And when I was helping my cousin clean out his place, she's like, Di, look at this. I said, she's like, you want him? I'm like, you know, I'm going to fuck him up, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, don't give it to me if you don't want me to turn it into a zombie, because you know that's what's going to happen.
Well, it's good to be comfortable in your skill set. That's a really good thing. So what do you have there in the cage?
She has to stay in this cage. I'll take her out though.
Yeah,
she's evil. I think, did I bring her on one of your ghost tours?
I think you did.
She has a pet, which this guy draws characters and he'll sometimes make them into. And I had to have this little cat.
He's really cute.
But it's hers. She doesn't have a name. I should name her.
Oh, she is.
I sculpted her ears and her horns.
What did you sculpt them from?
Polymer clay. I sculpted them right onto her. She sits in the cage also so that my cats don't like chew on her. So it's kind of protecting her, and it's protecting the cats from her midnight snacking. But she's all white with her little black nails. And I made her for myself. She's very like cuddly, right?
She looks cuddly. She's
like, I want to rip your freaking throat out. Stop making fun.
She looks like she just kind of sinks into your arms though when you hold her.
She's so cuddly. She really is. And I don't know what it is about. I think it's the body that she's tied onto. Mm-hmm. It's just soft. But she's very cuddly in her Jessica Simpson dress. She's styling. But she sits in my living room in a cage. My poor niece lives with me. She's probably like, what the hell? Because I have skeletons. I have a mommy and baby skeleton right now sitting on a little table. I've got a dog in here, a cat, constantly just sitting in my living room. In my backyard, I have a life-size horse skeleton in my garden.
I almost got one of those. There was an antique shop in town that had one. And
it's been there.
Yeah. I almost got it because I thought it would be a great thing to grow ivy around.
Yeah. I was going to put like something on its back and have flowers trailing off of it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So it's going to be like, it's going to be fun to like find someone to date because they're going to be like,
no, I think normal. I think that's a good thing though, because then you go through the whole process of weeding out the ones that would be weirded out about it.
Exactly. You're like, come into my backyard. I just want to show you something real quick. I mean, all I have to do is walk in my front door. I've got a cage sitting under a sofa table that has my Halloween display. It's a bird cage with a couple skeletons and a big bird sitting on top. Mm-hmm. So, you walk in the front door and you kind of know.
I completely understand. I mean, this setup behind me is not just for the creepy parlor. It's all year round.
But you're the ghost tour girl, so.
I am.
And you're just awesome, so.
Oh, thanks. So are you. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
So I have another picture that I can show. Let's see. This one really creeps me out. And
look at her eyes. Ooh.
Because I wasn't sure if she was a boy or a girl, but she looks like she's going to grab you.
She's like, hold still. I'm trying to rip you apart.
Exactly.
Girl. She's another one of the crawlers. I just love her feet.
Crawls.
Yeah, they're like a crawler.
Oh, just the thought of it. Okay, so look at her hand. The way her unbelievable. Do you airbrush paint or is that just by hand?
I have this really, really thin liner, and it's hard to find like a good lining brush because I've ordered so many and they're crap. It is like I have one that's my go-to diehard brush, and I do all the veining, and I have to get into the creases, just to do all and I have to like kind of mop it out. so that it doesn't make like too hard of a line. It's a process, you know, and then you got to paint all the nails. And on the real baby, some of these, depending on the color of the nail, I got to do the little moon on the nail, the little white. And, you know, being 29, my eyesight's going.
29.
So since I have this headgear thing, it's hilarious. It's this big thing that sits on my head, and it's got the magnifying, and it's got little lights, and I look retarded. And like, this is the front of my house, so I always have the blinds closed when I'm painting, because I'm like, neighbors are going to be like, "What's she doing in there?" I'm practicing being a minor.
Natalie has a question. She says, "Where do you get your inspiration? Your minions are phenomenal."
My minions. That's funny because I love minions too. I don't know. I just think up like zombies. Like, as I think each doll that I start, I look at its face and I'm like, you're going to be a zombie. You're going to be a vampire. And I just kind of just goes from there. As I apply paint, they take on their own character. You know, I may give them a little bruise here and there, or like a little bite mark, depending, you know. So they just kind of, and I'll watch a show and be like, oh, I have to make, you know, like this one that's in the cage. My inspiration for this was, there's an artist called Ronit Baranaga, and she makes, you got to look her up. I'll send you the link. Oh my God. Please. She makes actual like porcelain dolls that look like this.
We talked about that. Yeah, remember? Go ahead. Yeah, tell me more.
So her dolls were my inspiration for this one. So I made it kind of similar, but not to like, you know, people will be like, oh, she copied it. But like, I'm keeping it for myself. I'm not selling it. Like, I would never make one of these for someone else, because that would be kind of like, oh, you know, you're making a doll like what she makes.
Yeah.
You know, and I try not to do that, because I'll see a lot of people, like, since I started my ghost doll, I'll see a lot of them being sold, and I'm like, okay, you know, but I'm not going to be like, you copied my doll. Like, I don't care. Make your own.
Yeah. I feel like once it goes out there, it's kind of like, it's out there now.
Yeah, because I see a ton of fighting on these pages where they're like, oh, you made the same doll that you did. And it's like, you know.
Well, you have a comment here. If you're 29, Elizabeth is 29 too. Can you see the comments when I post them?
I'm seeing that. Oh, Elizabeth, yes.
I'm guessing it's someone you know.
Yeah. Yeah, she's 29. She's actually 28, I think.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Can I be 29?
Square wolves? What's that?
That's a reference to what we do in the shadows. When they come across the werewolves, and they say, we're not swearwolves. That's my friend Ange. I think you've met Ange before.
Maybe on a ghost walk, maybe.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, Karen says it's inspired by. It's not copied. It's inspired by. Yes.
Oh yes, thank you, Karen. Yes, exactly. I didn't steal anything.
Jill wants to know what's a good brush. She needs one.
It's, I think, like they go by numbers, and I think it's a number 20, which is like really, really thin, but it's got longer bristles. So I can drag out that line instead of just, you know, I can drag it out with the, I've seen her pieces. Love the teacup too. Teacup. Oh yes. Oh my God. She makes teacups that have like a tongue, or they have fingers underneath them. Crazy. You got to check out her stuff. It's crazy.
Yes, it's a recurring issue in the community.
So Natalie knows.
Yep.
Totally knows.
How long does it take you? How long does it take you from start to finish to create a doll?
Usually, because if like in the beginning of the pandemic, I was getting a ton of dolls done. Like I was getting like a doll done a week or whatever. But now it'll take me sometimes 3 weeks to a month to finish a doll, because I'll work on them at night, or if I have a day off, I'll sit down, but I can't like nonstop make the dolls. I actually should sit down and write down like, okay, I worked on it for 15 minutes or a half hour or an hour today, and add up all that time. Because I'll tell someone, oh, it took me 3 weeks to make this doll, but it doesn't take me 3 weeks to make the doll. You know, I'd have to figure out how many hours, but I would say maybe 8 to 12, like if I were to like add it all up, because then they have to bake too. So I wouldn't include baking time. You know,
so it has to be sort of a staged process then.
Yeah, because they have to bake and then cool. and I don't go right back to them. Like, I'll go watch TV.
Well, it's inspiration. Watching TV, you watch your creepy shows, you get inspired, right? It's
Yes.
research.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break for a minute. I have to do some commercials. Then we'll come back and talk a little bit about different people's takes on your dolls.
Okay.
WLFE-DB.com, where you can find vodcast shows, podcasts, and more, like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Paratalk Radio, Just Cindy, and more. So go check out WLFE-DB.com, where talk radio is a whole lot better. Our shows are your shows, and that there makes for a great talk radio.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Ted Van Son Jr. is a seasoned investigator and well-versed in the ways of paranormal investigation. He is now ready to share his ideas and unique approach with all of you. Flashlight, recorder, and comfortable shoes. Hit the ground running as you follow this easy step-by-step guide to a fun and thorough paranormal investigation, perfect for first-time and lightly seasoned investigators. Think outside the paranormal box. Learn all about the technology and techniques used back in the early days of paranormal investigation. You can find these valuable resources online at Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and Amazon. Get yours today.
Hi, I'm Jenna Grover. In a world of fashion, we get lost in the cost. Everyone wants that special piece of quality jewelry, but they can't afford it. Not on my watch. I sell handmade quality jewelry for a fraction of the price, and that includes jewelry made of sea glass, natural stone, crystal beads, glass beads, Bigfoot jewelry, and more. If you don't see what you want, email me, because I make custom jewelry too. Check out my website at gbythesea.com. Also, you can email me at jewelry@gbythesea.com.
You're listening to WLFE DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
Oh, I'm just seeing this chat.
You're back.
I'm just seeing your chat.
I meant to tell you about that earlier. Sorry.
What's that say?
Sorry. So we are back. I just saw that you had a baby in your arms. Is that your was that your Lily?
It's my little Wolfie.
Are there actual baby clothes, or are you making the clothes too?
Some of them I have to make the clothes for, and some of them I have made clothes for because I wanted, like, I bought all this material. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'll make a dress, like if I don't have anything at the time, or if it's a custom, sometimes I make a dress for them. But like this is like preemie, this is preemie size. And like the other one, the Jessica Simpson dress, I just happened to find like thrifting. I was like, wow, this is a beautiful dress. So I have it on her, but usually they take like a newborn or a 0 to 3 month size.
Interesting.
So, I'm always looking for baby clothes, and I try to look for something a little more off the beaten path,
Mm-hmm. Well, if anyone has any baby clothes out there, we know where they.
Send me some creepy stuff.
No surprise, my best friend has lots of baby clothes. She's got lots of everything.
Okay.
She's got lots of everything.
I'll send a doll. Like sometimes I don't worry about what I send a doll in, because I find that like it'll kill me. Like I'll be like, oh, this is a perfect dress for this doll. And then the person will send me a picture of it and it's completely dressed differently. And I'm like, what'd you do? But these people, like, they're so in love with these babies, and it's like, it's their baby.
Yeah, I
and
wanted to get
they
into that.
buy all kinds of clothes for them. Like,
Mhm.
I'm always like, feel free to send me a picture of, because I want to see this doll in its new natural environment. I want to see it. Like, people will do a
Its
nursery.
new habitat.
Yeah. Like, people will make cribs for them. I had a woman her husband made her a gorgeous coffin for her vampire doll. I
Mhm.
had someone send me a picture of her doll. I think it was a vampire. She had it set up with like an IV. I'm like, that is awesome. But they'll send me pictures, and some of these people, they'll have like a whole room of dolls. They're on shelves, they're in cribs,
Mhm.
they're in little carriages. It's so cool. Like, they're really into them. I have people that have 3 and 4 of my dolls.
That's
You know?
cool. This is my mom saying we could do a creepy baby shower. Yeah, we
Okay,
could.
let's do it. Let's do
That
it.
could be
Don't
a
you have
really
that black parasol? We can hang stuff from it.
that could be a really fun party. Have a nice big
Yeah.
Morticia Adams chair.
Yeah. Have Jen do baby readings.
You could do some fun baby games too, some fun baby shower games. My friend Bill, need to see your babies gang up on the elf on the shelf.
I don't think gang up. I think they'd eat the elf.
They might.
With
They
some ketchup.
might. With ketchup. Maybe they don't need the ketchup. Maybe they got enough blood. Some clients have entire rooms. It's very cool. Natalie. Natalie
Yes.
has.
And they're decorated beautifully, like curtains and oh my God, some of them are beautiful. I've got to get some together and post them on my page of what, the dolls are in their new homes.
In their new homes. I think that's so
Pretty
cool.
cool.
But I think one of the really fascinating things about this subject in general is the way it is kind of polarizing. People are generally super into it or want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had people go, oh, like, I'll show them the doll and be like, oh, check this doll out. Like, on my phone, they're like, other people are like, oh, that's awesome. And then I sometimes wonder, like, some of these women that buy the dolls, some of them, okay, their husband will buy it for them.
Mhm.
But I wonder, like, when they get the doll in their house, is their husband like, what the hell is that? Keep it out of the bedroom, get it away from me. Like, I wonder, and their kids, like, is it just them that's okay with the doll, or their family's okay with the dolls?
Well, I guess at that point it doesn't really matter, it's sort of on them, right?
Like, here's my doll. Back off.
Yeah. And like we were saying before, it's sort of like a test, like if someone's okay with this, then they're going to be okay with me, right?
Exactly. I mean, I've met some guys, like, they know that I make the dolls, and they're like, okay, like, they don't freak out.
Yeah. Well, I think
Maybe because it's not in their house yet.
maybe. That's my sister Jillian. I'm a creep, but I do not want in my home. It's haunted enough.
Our house is haunted. That's cool.
Yeah. We've had a lot of interesting discussions. We might talk about it on the Haunted Happy Hour next week a little bit. Not to put you on the spot there, Jillian, but maybe we'll bring it up next week. Yeah, but I think that I mean, aside from the fact, yeah, they're creepy, they're beautiful, and all that. There's so much work that goes into it. There's so much artistry that's there.
It's a lot of work. But I find that like, I went through a divorce about a year and a half ago, and I would sit, like, things were just miserable in the house, and I would just sit there and paint the dolls, and it would be like my escape from everything that was happening in the house. So it's kind of like, when I start painting, I just kind of get into a mode where it's like, that's what I see, that's what like, I'm painting, and everything else is kind of like tuned out, especially when I'm rooting. My niece was sitting here watching me root one day, and she's like, oh my God, like, I'm sitting here with the needle, and each hair gets rooted in with the needle into the head.
Each hair?
Yeah. Well, not each hair, but like, the needles I use will pick up maybe 3-4 hairs at once. But yeah, all of this is all separately rooted in, like, plugged into the doll. Yeah. It's not, some people will use a wig, but I root all the hair. I got to go around the whole doll. That's what takes the longest, is the rooting of the hair, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
I guess that's where you need, like, the really good high quality hair too.
Yes, because I've used some mohair that just will not, like, the needle will not pull it in, or it's like very fuzzy, and then as I'm using it, it's matting up, and I have to rip it all out. So you learn lessons along the way, as far as painting. And oh my God, one time I left the doll in the oven, and because I'm 29, I completely forgot I had a doll in the oven, and that sucker melted. And I have to laugh because sometimes I'll see on the page people will post, oh, my doll melted. What do I do? And I'm like, hey, garbage can, because there's not much you can do with it now unless you make it into some like creepy freaking, pod person. Yeah, that's
a vampire baby that was left out in the sun.
it's heartbreaking when a doll melts, but I've learned my lesson. Like I set a timer on my oven and it'll keep going. I'll be like, oh, doll in the oven, because I have a separate oven for it. I can't do that. I have it in a ventilated and whatever. I can't put it in my regular oven. So.
Rob and Joan are asking, have you ever set up a camera to see if they move around at night?
No, should I?
Do you think they're haunted? Do you think there's a possibility of them being haunted?
I don't think so. Although not haunted, because they are it's a new doll. It's not like I did have a doll that I bought from I think an estate sale that Jen said, get that doll out of your house. And I was like, which one? And she's like the doll that I had just got, she's like, get it out of your house. Yeah. It has like bad attachments and whatever. So I'm like, boom, gone, but these are like new kits.
Yeah.
Just as a point
of reference for you guys out there, the Jen that she's referring to is Jen that was on the Creepy Parlor a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry. Just wanted to clarify that.
She did say that my, I don't know if it's my spirit guide. One of my spirit guides was a little sister in a past life, and that she will play with my dolls. She's like, if you ever see that they're moved around, she's been playing with them.
Well, there you go.
As long as she doesn't hurt them.
Yeah. Well, Rob and Joan, maybe they're onto something. Rob and Joan are paranormal investigators. So if you do decide to put up a camera, let us know.
Okay.
Dominic, you still have it. He wants it.
Oh, the haunted doll? I got rid of that. I don't know how much haunted, but she said it just had some really bad juju attached to it. It had seen something.
Oh, are you frozen? Can you hear me? All right, it looks like we lost Diann for a minute. I'll try to get her to come back on. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks, Ange. Ange is telling me that one of the dolls captured Diann's soul. So hopefully she'll be back on in a second. Hold on for one moment, please. Let's go to a quick commercial while I address this. There you are. I'm still not hearing you. There we go.
Can you?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now I can. Okay, cool. Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. So some of the comments that came in while you were...
Can you see me now?
We can see you. We can hear you.
Okay. I'm moving back to the other room. I don't know what it was because it said that that my Wi-Fi was interrupted or something. I don't know.
Ange thinks that one of the dolls captured your soul and now you're frozen.
Speaking of frozen, I did an Elsa doll into a zombie. a while back, and someone bought it.
Cool. And another one, we have the haunted doll got her. Mrs. Beasley dolls in a bag in the closet. What do you think of those?
Ginny, I need that Mrs. Beasley doll. I'm going to turn into a vampire.
That would be cool. What do you think of those ventriloquist dolls?
I actually have one that I bought at a yard sale, and it's like one of the older, like real ones. And I was going to turn it into a zombie, but I'm like, maybe this doll might be worth money. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're a little creepy.
They're incredibly creepy.
Look at me calling a doll creepy.
Look at me calling it creepy. I don't mean creepy as an insult, though.
I bought this doll, and I think the only thing that's holding me back from making it into a zombie is I'm afraid to bake it. So I would have to use acrylic paints because I'm afraid it would melt. Because I did have like one of those Chatty Cathy dolls, you know, the one you want to punch in the face. Well, it was a weird plastic because it was so old, and I did like a layer of paint and I stuck it in the oven, and it like flattened out, totally melted in like 2 minutes. So it's like a weird, whatever kind of plastic it was. It's like plastic, I guess, because the ones I do are vinyl. So if they have a good vinyl content, they can bake. This one was plastic.
So the
only thing that was left was her little sound thing, her little talky thing. I'm like, figures.
That's creepy. You said you had a separate oven for doing this.
Yes.
Is that in a separate area, or is it in your kitchen?
No, it's in a separate area with a window that I open. I use a New Wave oven too. It's a like a little portable oven, and it has the extender, and you put the doll in there and it bakes. Like I can do that out on my deck.
That's very cool. Natasha is a friend of mine. She's also starting to work on some creepy dolls.
Cool.
We
need to see them.
Yes, we do. I'm guessing that the old composite dolls, Natalie's saying it's hard to touch. The patina is beautiful.
I also have a couple old dolls they almost seem leather.
Oh,
like I have them sitting in a bag. Like I should have someone check that out, like see what they are, but they're almost like a leather and they're very discolored. Estate sale.
Yeah.
They're cool though.
What do you think of haunted dolls?
Spontaneous combustion, baby. There you go.
Yeah. That's what Jill and I talked about on Friday. So it's topical, right? Bringing it all back full circle.
Yes.
What do you think of haunted dolls?
One. What do I think of haunted dolls?
Yeah.
Like Annabelle? I wouldn't want one in my house because I saw the movies and, you know, a little scary. Like I make these dolls because I know that they're, you know, they're not going to hurt anybody, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But a haunted doll, I don't know, would freak me out, I think. Yeah, especially if things started happening in the house centered around the doll.
Yeah, they really creep me out. I remember being little and like making sure that I had like blankets on my dolls at night because I was afraid that they would be angry and wake up and get me. It's like a Twilight Zone.
Put like baby powder around them so you can track them if they move.
No, I just want to prevent the movement. I don't want to track the movement.
Well, you know, there's a certain eye that you can put in the doll and it looks like it's following you.
Yes.
I had made a werewolf. Did you see the werewolf I made?
I did.
It had the following eyes. And like I did a video of like all around it and the eye just looked like it watched you. It's crazy.
How do you know it's
just where the pupil is?
Nope. It's so funny too how, like, you know, it's a simple doll. It's vinyl, it's acrylic, it's paint, it's a little dress, people can be just so creeped out by it and so terrifying.
Yeah.
Let's see. Out of dolls I had one that had a freaky reaction to. She made me hysterical. Oh, Natasha, I saw your video on Facebook. Her boyfriend gave her just a whole bunch of dolls and she just like lost her mind over this doll. It was really amazing.
Oh, really?
Oh, this one's
I've seen some really creepy, like older dolls.
Have you seen Robert the doll?
I've heard of Robert the Doll. I've heard of Robert the Doll.
Robert the Doll, apparently if you don't ask permission to take his photograph, a lot of bad things happen. So he's a haunted doll in a museum in Key West.
Okay. Bring it on, Robert.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Well, DJ's saying he saw Robert in person. I'm wondering if
Did he take a picture?
Probably. It's unnerving because they are the antithesis of what a real baby should be. I think that that's true. And that one of the things that I love in art that I prefer is when something looks really normal and pretty. And then when you get closer, it's like really creepy. And I think that that's sort of like how your dolls are. You know, they're so like when you look at them, you're like, oh, it's a cute little baby doll. Then you get closer and you're like, oh, that's not a baby.
I had taken one on a hayride a couple years ago with a couple friends, and I'm like holding it over my shoulder, like, you know, and it's wrapped in something, and these people are like, look at this woman in line with a little baby to go on a hayride. And I'm just like, they're like, ah! We freaked out a bunch of people in line, and then everybody was holding the doll and taking pictures with the doll. And it was too funny. But then one of the characters actually jumped onto the hayride and grabbed my doll and took off. So I had to like stick around and talk to a manager and say, you know, you need to get your employees' ass back here because they have my doll and it's an expensive doll. They took off with it off the hayride, and I was like panicking. But it was so funny in line, like freaking these people out, like pretending, oh, look at your baby. It was great.
Yeah, I think this is a great comment too, Natalie. The offness is often much more creepier than the straight out horror. Absolutely. And that's my kind of horror, that kind of like it's subtle and it creeps up on you and then it just gets you.
Unexpected.
Yeah. Karen saying that's the most awesome thing ever. It is the most awesome thing ever. This is so much fun.
Well, did I tell you about the doll that was given to Chris Hardwick on The Talking Dead?
Oh, yeah. Tell us that.
Well, I had a doll like maybe 2 years ago. I get this message. I sold a doll on Etsy and didn't realize who it was sold to because I guess his PR person bought it. And I get a message, Walking Dead was on that night. Talking Dead was going to be on that night. And I get a message in my Etsy shop, and I guess she was trying to get a hold of me. And she's like, oh, you know, I purchased your doll, and I actually purchased it for Drew Scott, and he is going to be presenting it to Chris Hardwick on The Talking Dead tonight, and we need your permission. And I had gotten the message way too late to even get back to her. And I was like, it's your doll now. I don't care what you do with it, you know? So I don't know if it was actually, some people told me that they actually saw it on the show, but they did send me a video of like them wrestling with it back and forth, you know, when he did present it to him. So I sent messages to I think to Chris and I was like, you know, how does your wife feel about having this doll in the house? And he's like, oh, you know, she thinks they're really cool. She likes it. She likes the zombie thing. So she's okay with it. And I'm like, okay. Cause like, she's going to come home and find this doll sitting on your dresser in the bedroom and be like, I'm out of here. You know, but I thought that was really, really cool that, you know,
I'd imagine
he has one of my dolls.
Yeah, I'd imagine that she would know going into that marriage that what he's all about.
Yeah. But you know, when you're actually bringing home a little zombie doll, it kind of brings it the realness. Like, you know, you can sit there and be on a show. I also made like from his table, he had like a little jewelry holder of the baby, like on driftwood with the baby arms and the feet and everything. I had made a couple of them and sold them. I put blood all over the base, and I got to make more of those because I have some baby parts. So like a little jewelry holder,
famous
zombie arm or a zombie foot.
Parts. Nowhere else on WLFE will you hear that statement.
A baby arm. Oh, and I made baby arm like with a magnet to put on your refrigerator to put an air plant in. Sold a couple of those too, the arms and the legs.
Mm-hmm. I love the planter.
Because through my love of plants and air plants, you know.
Yep.
glom it all together.
I think that's cool too, because then it just draws from like all aspects of your artistry, right?
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. I love that planter too. I think that those are such a brilliant idea. The head that you the doll head.
It's so cute.
It is really
It's
cute.
got, it's funny because you cut off the top of the head and use the skull cap upside down to, form the base of the bottom of the plant. The bottom of, so that the dirt doesn't fall through. So skull cap in there.
It sounds so disturbing.
I know. I feel like I'm
dolls.
in
We're
like
talking
what
about
the heck's that
dolls.
movie where he was eating the people.
Which one?
I see Natasha says your dolls are beautiful. Thank you so much. And Natasha, I love your hair.
She
the
does
purple
have
hair. I love it.
Hair. She does absolutely have fantastic hair. Oh, hi, Natasha. Just so casual. Yeah, we're talking about like cutting off the top of the head, putting the skull cap in there. Just so it's like no big deal. No big deal. How long have you been doing this? Did we talk about that?
I've been doing this maybe 4 years.
Oh,
and
really?
it used to sound weird to me when I would say, oh, I've got like baby parts, sitting on a tray. Like, let me just put these baby parts in the oven. Like it used to sound weird to me. So now it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put these baby parts in the oven. So my poor niece, like if she's gonna have a guy over, she's probably like, listen, before we go in, I gotta warn you, my aunt is a little weird. If she talks about baby parts, just ignore her.
They're not real. They're not real.
Yeah,
as long as you know that going in, you're fine.
I'd be like, yeah, I gotta go kill some babies.
Oh my goodness.
I could have cops at my door for stuff that I say. I gotta watch what I say.
We want to specify they are dolls.
Doll parts, baby parts. Yeah. Because awesome. I have like arms and legs at any given time, just like laying on a tray, ready to go into the oven.
And they're so real looking. They really are.
It's hard to see in the lighting, but this is like how the kit starts out, like not much color to it. Mm-hmm. So I have to I over neutralize for the, because it's the horror doll, because I want the skin to look more white.
Yeah.
So I don't give it like a lot of flesh tones and reds and, but yeah, little baby parts.
Little undead babies.
This is my life.
Well, you're doing very well with it.
It's great, though.
You can't even keep things on your Etsy shop because they're selling out so fast. It's fantastic.
I have a custom right now, a custom doll that I'm making, a ghost, one of my ghosts. Mm-hmm. And she wanted a particular kit, which I ordered, and I just got the other day, so I started neutralizing her. So I'm excited to get her done. It's the cutest little face, and it's got a little pouty lip. Oh, my God. She's going to be adorable. She's going to be so cute. And I got a little white dress for her, almost like a nightgown looking dress. She's going to be so cute.
And you're going to post
my favorite. One of my favorites to do is the ghost.
You're going to post pictures of her, right?
I will post pictures of her. Yeah, she's a custom.
Excellent.
She's going to have white eyes.
Aww.
I get my eyes. This woman makes eyes, and she makes these awesome eyes. So I'm always stalking her page to see like what she's got, because she's got some awesome. I just got a pair actually in the mail today that I ordered. They're really cool. So I'll base it all around the eye.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
I just got some eyes in the mail today. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I got eyes in the mail. Yeah. But they're really cool. So I'll get the eyes and be like, oh, this is going to be like this doll. So I'll base it. I'm like, okay, which one am I putting them in? And then it kind of goes from there. Because these are really cool looking.
What color?
Let's see what I make out of that one.
They're
kind of like pinkish red with a little weird glow to them almost.
Yeah, that's going to be creepy.
They're cool.
I can't wait to see them. April's asking, how long does a typical doll take? We touched on that a little bit earlier, but
yeah, like if I'm just doing it in my spare time when I get home from work and whatever, or sometimes on a Sunday or on my day off, it could take me like 3 to 4 weeks to actually finish a doll And if I'm rooting it, forget it. If I'm rooting hair and I just don't have the time, if I'm working, you know, like if we have a lot of funerals out, because I'm a florist, we have a lot of funerals that I have to make stuff for, I wind up like getting home and just crashing. So sometimes it could take me over a month to sit down and root that hair into the doll.
Just for the hair?
To root the hair sometimes could take me 2 weeks and then also it's just like so monotonous to sit there and just keep rooting the hair. So I have to just take a break. I've got my glasses on. So yeah, sometimes it'll take a while.
Well, I think that I think that good art does take a long time. Natasha says you should put some in a really big pickle jar.
Baby.
So gross. That's gross, Natasha.
I do have some cute little dolls I was thinking about putting in something, but you know, I'm always afraid, like if I send something in glass, I'm afraid it'll break, during shipment. So I look for cages or boxes or something.
If someone commissions you for just a standard doll, what's the average cost of them? I'd imagine
depends on what the doll costs me to get. And the dolls have been going up, which is, so my prices have gone up just a little bit though, to make up for that. $350, $400, $450.
Wow.
Depends on what kit they want, what eyes I'm doing, if I'm doing hair, what kind of hair. Some dolls are way more expensive than others.
And you said
a lot of my dolls I can get, for like a little bit of a lower price. So I don't put it out for that much when I make it. And then also when it's a custom, it's like I'm sitting there working on a doll where I normally wouldn't be. So because I have to get it done.
Yeah.
So it's also becomes a time issue,
And you said some people buy 2 or 3 of them. They have multiples of these.
Yeah. Like sometimes as soon as I put a doll out, somebody will message me and be like, I have one of your dolls. I want this one. Or they'll have one of my dolls and message me like, can I get a custom? Can I get another one? There's a girl that I know that has, I think, 3 of my toddler size vampires. And I love that kit too. I have to make another one, but she has 3 sisters. She has a blonde, black hair, and a redhead. And I think the black hair and the blonde one each have like a little piece of each other's hair, like coming off the side a little bit. Like the black has a little white and the blonde has a little black streak. And she bought them these gorgeous custom dresses that they're in. So She has, I think, 3 of my dolls.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's cool. And I get to meet up with her because she lives in Staten Island. So I get to meet up with her and she's like the coolest, funniest person, so we'll just stand around and chat when she picks up one of the dolls. So it's a bonus. Cool. Because I've met some really cool people through the dolls. Like, most of my customers are pretty cool. They'll message me, they'll send me pictures, just chatting with them and through the whole process of making a custom. Yeah. They're pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Cool people.
I love that we have these like weird things that we do, and it just like brings us. I mean, I met you through doing ghost tours, essentially. That's how we connect. That's how all us little weirdos connect.
The ghost tours were awesome. I can't wait for them to come back. It's so fun walking around, listening to the stories.
We'll see how we do this year, but we are just about out of time, if you can believe that. So
that went quick.
It does.
But it was really awesome. Does. It was fun. And I have to say, I'm looking at your picture and you have 2 candles behind you that make little glowing ears. Like
there we go. Perfect.
Like bear ears. See that?
Yep. I didn't even realize that.
Adorable.
DJ saying a friend of ours is helping to restore a state park in Pennsylvania. And he's saying we should put a doll in Tom Nally's park. I don't know about you, DJ, but I'm not spending $400 on a doll that I'm going to put in a park. I'm going to keep her.
I do sometimes get Ashton Drake dolls. Like I'll get older, and redo them. And they're, of course, a lot less expensive. I'm working on one now that's going to be a zombie.
Nice.
But do you remember, was it last year or the year before, someone had put a Reborn doll a zombie. It looked like a zombie. Somebody had found a reborn doll like somewhere in New York. And people were messaging me, is this one of your dolls? I'm like, no, but it's crazy. Like somebody, I don't know if they staged it there.
Interesting.
Like, and people thought they thought it was a dead baby. Like the police came and everything and investigated. And they found, it was a doll. It was hilarious. But people were so freaked out. They thought it was yeah.
Oh, that's so creepy. So with that, we do have to end the show tonight. Just before we go, I just want to say
look at Jillian.
I know she's.
Yes, Jillian, it's you. You're funny. You're beautiful. You're awesome.
My crazy sister. Thank you, Diann, so much, so much for sharing this hour with me and for sharing your art with everybody. I absolutely, positively love what you're doing. If you guys check out her, please check out her social media. We have Facebook.com, Waking Dead Dolls, Instagram, Waking Dead Dolls. You can check out Diann's Etsy shop, Waking Dead Dolls on Etsy. But keep in mind that her dolls do go fast. So if you are really interested, check her out on Facebook because they'll probably be sold before they get to Etsy.
Yes, send me a message. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching us and listening to our craziness.
Yes.
But it was awesome. It was great.
Thank you. Stick around. Don't leave me yet, okay?
Oh, never.
Okay. So just so you guys know, next week on the Creepy Parlor, we have a haunted happy hour. We got some of our friends coming in from our regular haunted happy hour. We're going to talk about some creepy stuff that night. And I've got a lot of great things coming up in February. So check out the Creepy Parlor on Facebook. I'll have everything posted for February up very soon. Lots of creepy cool stuff. Music? It's coming. Don't
Closing
you worry.
Credits.
Thank you so much for joining. I hope that all of you had as much fun as we did. And we will see you next week at 7 on WLFE DB, the Creepy Parlor.
Be there.
Thank you for joining us on the Creepy Parlor. Join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for another fantastic show.